My house was looking like a complete disaster, and usually when that happens, it sets alarm bells off in my head that we just have too much crap. So today we're going to go through some different areas in my home, get things decluttered and organized, and I'll share some of my decluttering tips along the way to hopefully motivate and inspire you. So let's just get into it. The first area that desperately needed to be tackled was my living room. In our home, our living room is our playroom for the most part. I have an 8-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. My kids are living room kids for sure. Actually, they're more like wherever mom is kids. They just want to be close to me all the time. My oldest isn't really into toys anymore, but my 3-year-old is, and he has a wide variety of interests. Right now, he's loving sea creatures and PJ Masks figures a lot. He's also really into Disney cars. So as you can see by the mess, he's been very busy lately. But before we can get through all of that, I needed to deal with my couch. My kids love to take it apart, make slides, build forts, but I was ready for this area to be put back together again. This couch needed to be vacuumed and a stain needed to be dealt with as well. Believe it or not, the stain on the couch was not from my kids. It was actually from our Maine Coon kitty who got into some maple syrup and managed to get it everywhere. I don't know who makes more work for me, the cats or the kids. We were planning on moving this year and we had been working on packing our house up for that. Plans have changed. I will be sure to let you guys know what is going on with that once I also have it figured out for myself. Life has just been absolutely insane this year in 2025, and I'll be honest, not in a good way. But anyway, a ton of our toys were packed up, donated, all of that, but the things that we did keep for the time being have absolutely no organization whatsoever. I decided to put them all into categories to make this easier for myself when I'm putting them away and deciding what to get rid of. I had a trash pile going so I could easily throw stuff out when it comes time for that. And then I grabbed a couple of boxes. It's not going to be the most aesthetic way to organize this stuff, but for right now, it works. And I'd rather not go out and spend money on containers that I most definitely already have. They're just packed up somewhere in storage. All that being said, not everything you declutter and organize needs to turn out beautiful. Sometimes you just got to use what you have and remember that any progress is better than doing nothing at all. All of these boxes were given to us by a client of our real estate agent to help us with our move. And the very next day, we found out our buyers had some kind of ridiculous demands and we parted ways with them. So we don't need these right now, honestly. And they were really annoying me, taking up space in my living room. Since we're all still unsure what the future holds for us with moving and all of that, I am not going to get rid of these, but I am placing them into our finished room in our basement that is empty until we decide what we're going to do. I had a couple of drawers in my kitchen that were becoming a little unruly. I wanted to make sure I add in that yes, I have decluttered these same areas a few times already. That's okay. That's normal to have to do it again. We're not adding more inventory into our home. We haven't purchased new things that have been shoved into these drawers. They're either things I just didn't declutter the first few times, or they're things that have been moved from one home to another within our house, or shoved into drawers that they don't belong in by someone other than myself. No matter how much you declutter or organize, you will have to revisit areas, and that's totally fine, and it doesn't mean you have failed in any way. The things that I decluttered from underneath my kitchen sink were things that were mostly empty, if not completely empty, or things that I literally have not used in like 4 years that have just been sitting under there. Instead of just throwing things away and completely wasting them, I do try my best to use them up. So if I'm really trying to get rid of stuff from especially underneath my kitchen sink, which is mostly cleaning supplies, I will just go out of my way to like extra clean something to make sure that I'm using stuff up before I get rid of it. I really just do not love wasting stuff like that. I really do use the majority of the things that are in my baking cabinet. I really do love baking, so I'm not going to get rid of things from this cabinet, but I did have a couple things I wanted to move because I was having a hard time closing this cabinet because there was stuff like poking out of it. So I'm just kind of reorganizing that a little bit. I've already decluttered that cabinet so many times, so it didn't need too much attention, but I did want to make sure that the doors were actually able to shut. But now we're doing a little bit of, I guess you could say consolidating, decluttering in this cabinet here. So as you can tell by my frantic animals, this got them going because I was messing with their food. We store their food in here. So all 4 of them, we literally like live in a jungle in this house. It's crazy. But all 4 of them were going ballistic because they were excited. They thought I was about to feed them. And I was not. It was not time to feed them. So if you're wondering about the pure chaos around me, that's what caused it, because I started going through their food. And the last space that I wanted to go ahead and declutter was our junk drawer. I do this pretty regularly to just make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. But this is the stuff that would otherwise go in like an office or in a garage or somewhere like that, that we just keep in our kitchen to keep them handy since we don't have those spaces to put them. So, you know, we've got pens, pencils, Post-it notes, erasers, a little sewing kit, some tape, hand sanitizer, glasses, wipes, whiteout, just things like that that we need to have handy. Also like some screwdrivers. And I just wanted to go through it because it was looking quite messy. Okay, my kitchen is filthy, but I'm starving. So before we do anything else, I'm gonna make some lunch, and today we're making some Green Chef. Today's video is sponsored by Green Chef. I mentioned this in a video. I get so shaky when I'm hungry, so it's time to eat. Okay, so we have caramelized onion cheeseburgers, and we have Indian style buttered chicken. I think we're gonna make the buttered chicken. I love how these come so well insulated. You don't have to worry about any of your ingredients going bad on the way to you. They come with these 2 recyclable ice packs. So let's get cooking. Did you know that Green Chef is actually the #1 meal kit for clean eating? So not only are you eliminating the stress of meal planning and grocery shopping with pre-prepped ingredients, but you are getting organic farmers market quality produce. Plus, if you're like me and you tend to stick with the same few boring meals every week, Green Chef makes it easy to try globally inspired flavors and discover new meals you wouldn't otherwise make for yourself. There are 80 plus weekly menu options that can be customized to fit your needs and dietary preferences. So for example, plant-based, gluten-free, and more options. I have been really wanting to eat clean this summer, but with both kids home, taking the 2 of them to the grocery store can be a nightmare. And I'm lucky if they let me sit down and use my brain to plan out meals. But now my family can eat clean while also being exposed to new and exciting meals every week. The meals come pre-portioned and ready to go so that I can have a fresh and delicious meal on the table in as little as 15 minutes. You guys know, if you have been around a while, I love a good meal kit. Green Chef is a wonderful option that is definitely worth checking out. Head to greenchef.com or click the link below and use code 50Catherine to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Green Chef box, plus 20% off for 2 months. That's code 50Catherine at greenchef.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Green Chef box, plus 20% off for 2 months. Use 50Catherine at greenchef.com. Just look at how incredible this meal looks. It was so delicious, and I also wanted to be sure to show you the other meal they sent as well. Oh my goodness, it was so good. We loved it. Hopefully I don't have cilantro in my teeth while I'm filming this, but this is delicious. Something I really like about Green Chef is that I would not think to make this myself. I probably would never pick up all these ingredients to go make this meal myself, because I won't lie, there's a lot of them, but because they come all pre-portioned, it's just so easy and it's delicious. So if you're ever in like a dinner rut, Green Chef is the way to go. Okay, does anybody else have a Maine Coon? Because this cat is wild. She will eat anything. She just got into the goldfish, as you can see, and they're everywhere. So we're gonna clean that up. It's like I've been walking here for days, lost in the desert, babe. I cannot forget you. These are so soggy and chewed up. It's disgusting. And then I would be forgetting, babe. Kill it without you. You're like water, babe. You may have noticed a little bit of jumping back and forth between outfits and hairstyles, and that's because I wanted to keep all of the decluttering at the beginning of the video for those of you who only come here for that, and then I was keeping most of like the cleaning stuff towards the end of the video. So we'll be spending some time just trying to clean up my house now and kind of flip-flopping between days to keep things interesting. But right now, obviously, I'm doing the dishes after making lunch. The butter chicken was so good. I've never had butter chicken before, actually, in my entire life. That was a first for me. It was so delicious, and my husband liked it. I didn't try to give it to my kids because they are incredibly picky eaters, but I think that potentially my oldest would have liked it, but my husband and I ate it all up. I feel like this is the most obvious tip ever when you're having trouble getting yourself motivated. Like, I guarantee you that probably everybody does this, but in case you don't, something that has really been helping me lately when I've kind of been going through some difficult times in my life, when I'm really having a hard time getting motivated, is putting on music. So I have a Google Home in my kitchen. I will put on, usually it's Taylor Swift, and I'll just shuffle through every single album she's ever put out ever. Or I'll listen to like some Post Malone or something like that, my favorite artists. Sometimes I'll even do like a 90s playlist because that stuff can really get me in the mood to like get moving. But yeah, if you are having a hard time getting motivated, sometimes something as simple as that, trying to make it like an experience instead of just a chore, can just make it a little bit easier for you to go ahead and get started. And usually once I've got started, I feel good and motivated to keep going. Like, you know how they say an object in motion stays in motion and an object at rest stays at rest? I definitely feel like that when it comes to being productive around the house. I just went outside to take out my trash and a bug literally flew up my nose. I feel like I can't make this stuff up at this point. The state of my floors was driving me crazy, so I decided to pull out my Tinco wet dry vac so I could get that all cleaned up. You guys know I kind of switch back and forth between which tool I'm using to clean my floors, and today I just felt like using this one. It does a really good job. It's super powerful, and I feel like It's just the easiest because it vacuums and mops at the same time. Also, I wanted to add in that if you're like me and you often forget to empty the dirty water tanks from your wet dry vacuums, this one so far has been the best as far as not getting odors when I forget to do that. Like the dirty water tank itself will smell bad when I go to dump it out, but the roller brush, I've not had an issue where it smells insanely musty if I leave it for any period of time without using it. That's something I really struggled with in the past, and as soon as I would turn on a wet dry vacuum that had been sitting for, let's say, a week without using it or something, this smell of like the musty odor would just completely fill the air, and it was so disgusting. But this one, I have not had that issue, so I'm really happy with it. A guy coming over tonight, a contractor, to talk about a possible addition. My husband's meeting with him, so I'm trying to quickly just clean up our bedroom because I know he's definitely gonna come in here before my mom gets home with the kids. She's had them all day so that I could get some work done, which is super helpful. But yeah, we're trying to get a couple different quotes for the addition. We already have one quote from like a year ago, so it may be out of date at this point, but I did reach back out to him because I really like his work. So we'll see if we end up doing the addition or if we don't. We've gone back and forth so many times, but I think I mentioned it in my last video. I'm just so beyond checked out from the whole real estate process and situation and just everything life has hit us with lately. I have no desire to move anymore. I'd rather just build onto our current house and stay here. All that being said though, we might need to sage the house to try to get out whatever evil spirits are trying to ruin my life. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. So anyway, I'm gonna try and tidy up my room before the kids get home, and then when they get back with my mom, we're actually headed to a farmer's market tonight, so that should be fun. So let's close out the day of cleaning with fixing up my... Naturally, one of my cats decided to try to eat something they shouldn't have and throw up on the floor. I unfortunately do not usually get everything done all in one day. I feel like back in the day, I used to be able to do stuff all in one day, like my entire house would be clean and I'd just feel so good about it, but I truly don't have the time that I don't know. I just can't do it anymore. So I'm going to work on cleaning up my room a little bit, and then we're going to skip forward to the next day when I wanted to kind of finish up my room cleaning. And the biggest project that I needed to do was lift up my bed to clean underneath the bed frame. Cleaning underneath my bed frame is so difficult because our room is very tiny, so we can't really move the bed frame to get under it properly. So a lot of the times I'll just lift up the mattress and I'll kind of like clean through the wooden slats that are attached to the bed frame, and it's just not the most efficient or easiest way to get this job done. So I waited for the next day to do this when my husband was going to be home so that he could just hold the bed frame up while I just very quickly try and get this job done. And it was so disgusting. I feel like the camera didn't even really pick up how bad it was. You guys are about to see in a second. Plus I had my oldest in the room and he kept walking right in front of the camera as I was trying to film this. But anyway, it was really bad. My cats, for whatever reason, they only go in our room to throw up. So they will get under the bed frame, throw up under the bed frame. I won't know that they've done that, and it will just sit under there until it dries. It's disgusting. You can see there's like 6 or 7 different spots underneath the bed. So I wanted to get that just completely cleaned and reset. And I will never, ever buy a bed frame that my cats can get under ever again. here's a little preview of our new laundry setup that we have in our basement. Our basement is unfinished, but I did try to make this area look a little bit cuter. So I'm really excited about this, and I'll be sharing more about our new washer and dryer in an upcoming video, but you guys will have to let me know what you think. But anyway, now we're going to clean up the floor from all the stuff I had swept out from under the bed. We're going to make the bed quickly, and then I have a couple of other little things I wanted to get done in our room. Basket I shoved in here when I started to get nauseous when I was pregnant and unfortunately miscarried that baby. So I haven't touched any of this laundry in probably 2 months. So let's see what's in here and get it put away. It was pretty bittersweet for me to get this little task done because, as you guys know, I did lose that pregnancy. So I don't know, something about like doing this stuff and catching up on these last chores that I did not do while I was pregnant. It just feels like the closing of that chapter, and like everything about it just feels so final and almost like it never happened, which just makes me really, really sad. So anyway, we are going to get this done, and then I had a little bit of vacuuming I wanted to do in our room and kind of get my husband's side of the room put back together somewhat, and then we're going to call it a day on today's video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this one and it gave you some motivation. Don't forget to check out Green Chef. I will have all of that information in my description box down below. The meals were delicious. You will not regret it. And especially in this economy when groceries are so expensive, definitely take advantage of the deal and get yourself a couple of delicious meals from Green Chef. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching and being there for me through all the ups and downs of my life. And I hope I'll see you again next week for another video. Show you that I was a mess. So you were shrugging your shoulders and closed off. That's what I told you. Soon enough, everything started to change. 'Cause there's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past. We're over that, I'm feeling it tonight. Riding on the dizzy